Okay, so now we're coming to what's one of the more difficult parts of this chapter, and students are often, I don't know, a bit confused maybe, and I think because they see logarithms and they think, oh, that's really difficult. But the main idea that I want to get across to you is that, one, the human ear can detect sounds across a very wide range of intensities, and so we have to use a scale that's different from a normal linear scale. A linear scale would go like 0, 1, 2, 3, 4. Instead, we're going to use a logarithmic scale. When this scale will go differently. It'll go 10 to the 0th, that's 1, 10 to the 1, that's 10, 10 to the 2, that's 100. So the scale for the logarithm scale would be 10, 100, 1,000, 10,000. Each increment on the logarithmic scale will increase by a factor of 10. So that's sort of the main idea I want you to take away from this, but I also want you to have some basic understanding of logarithms. So if the intensity of sound is 10 times that of another sound, a person only perceives it to be about twice as loud. And because of this, so if you have one sound that has an intensity of, I don't know, 0.1 watts per square meter, and then another sound that's at 1 watt per square meter, the human ear only perceives it to be like 0.2 watts per square meter. It only perceives it to be about twice as loud. And because of this, we can use this logarithmic scale. To measure loudness. And this scale measures the sound intensity level. This is different from the intensity of sound. It still has the word intensity in it, but you'll also be looking for this word, level. And that'll tell you that you're now dealing with this unit that's measured in decibels. The sound intensity level is given by this, 10 logarithm, or log, of I over I naught. And this I naught, that is the threshold of hearing. Remember, that was 10 to the minus 12 watts per square meter. This value is going to be measured in decibels. And we often see this as dB. I'm not sure if you remember, this isn't a metric prefix that we use very often, but the sound intensity level, the unit is actually in bells, B-E-L-S, but we use decibels, which is an easier unit. And the deci is 10 to the minus 1 in the metric prefixes. Here, I naught is the threshold of hearing. That's 10 to the minus 12 watts per square meter. And the intensity of two sounds can be compared like this, and this is really what I want you to walk away with. That I1 over I2, that's the intensity of two sounds, is equal to 10 times delta L over 10. So a change in 10 decibels, that is delta L, if delta L is equal to 10 decibels, that results in a sound. Well, let's see, what if I put in, I get 10 to the 10 divided by 10, that's equal to 10 to the 1. So a change in 10 decibels, say going from 2 to 12 decibels, results in a sound that is 10 times as intense. Not like adding 10, but in multiplying times 10. Let me show you what I mean on the next page. So for example, 30 decibels is how many more times intense as 20 decibels? Well, 30 minus 10 minus 20 is equal to 10. So that is an increase in 10 decibels. So it is a 10 times as intense, just like we had before. But what if I have 50 decibels is how many times as intense as 30 decibels? Well, in this case, delta L is equal to 50 minus 30. That's equal to 20. So I1 over I2, the ratio of these two intensities now, the one at 50 decibels, the other at 30 decibels, is going to be equal to 10 to the 20th divided by 10. are 10 squared. So 50 decibels is 100 times as intense. What if I had 50 and 10 decibels? What if I went from 10 decibels to 50 decibels? How much more intense is that sound going to be? So uh, I1 over I2 is equal to 10 to the 40th divided by 10, or that's equal to 10 to the 4th. So 10 to 50 decibels would be 10,000 times the intensity going from 50 decibels to 10 decibels. That is, the 50 decibel sound is 10,000 times the 10 decibel sound. All right, try this for some others. You're going to see problems like this on the test, so make sure that you can interpret what is the intensity level now, or excuse me, how much more has the intensity increased if I increase my intensity level by a certain amount.